Hello Eurovision friends, thank you so much for coming to my channel Eurovision Histories. While we are waiting for the first semi-final tonight, I want to continue my series Pro Contra, in which I play devil's advocate and try to find all the arguments for a country and an entry winning Eurovision and all the arguments against a country and an entry winning Eurovision. I asked you guys in the community tab of my channel and you responded. A lot of you responded and I used your responses for this video as well, so thank you for that. Today I will be looking at why Joost Klein and the Netherlands will win Eurovision 2024, and later on in the video also why they might not win. Now, there are some rumors that there will be augmented reality as part of the staging. At the moment of recording this video, I have only seen the 30-second rehearsal clip and a few photos that give us a first impression of the staging, but they might not show the augmented reality. So that is not part of it. If he does use it and it is used in a good way, of course, that would also be a pro argument to use in Joost's favor. Let's get right to it. First of all, I think the song Europapa is just incredibly memorable and catchy. If you've heard it once, you have Europapa stuck in your mind and in your head. And in Eurovision, especially if you reach the final, and I'm quite sure that you will reach the final, you are competing against 25 other songs and you have to stay memorable, especially for the televoters. And if you have a song that is so catchy as Europapa, that is obviously way easier. People will remember this also because of the staging and the crazy stage persona that Joost has, and then will pick up the phone and vote for it. In the end, it is a song that makes you look up, that makes you notice what is happening on the screen. You're not going to talk to your friends while this is on. You want to see what is going on. And so all of this to say that it is a huge, huge televote magnet, I think, and that in a year where we don't have a Loreen that can really smash the jury vote enough. So even a huge, huge televote like the one Kadia had last year for Finland is not enough to take the crown. We don't really have a jury favorite like Loreen was last year. At least I don't see it happening yet. Maybe France could do it or Switzerland, but at this moment right now, I don't really see that happening. And so being a huge televote magnet like Joost Klein could be enough to actually make it and win the whole thing. And then the song also has incredible streaming numbers already. A lot of you will say, well, they are mostly from the Netherlands and from Belgium, which is true. And that can only give him like 12 televote points from Belgium and not much else. However, at the moment of recording this video, he is also charting in Lithuania, in Sweden, in Estonia, in Finland, so in the Baltic and the Nordic region. In some of the streaming platforms. So that shows you that there is a wider appeal for this song that is in Dutch and still it manages to chart even before Eurovision has really begun. And it is also the kind of song that could go viral, I think, during Eurovision week after the second semi-final in which the Netherlands perform. It could, you know, create this huge momentum for the song as well, and the streaming numbers show that. And then when we talk about the Netherlands, this is a huge, huge hit in the Netherlands already, and also in the Flemish-speaking part of Belgium. There is a lot of national support. I have mentioned that in my video for Baby Lasagna as well. If your country is really 100% behind you, maybe the businessman who is currently traveling in Germany will pick up the phone and vote for Joost from the German telephone line, or the Dutch tourists in Spain, or whatever it is. They know who he is and they want him to do well. And so some Dutch people that are in other countries or in neighboring countries might vote for this a bit more. I always think that is why Lena in 2010, for example, got 12 points from Spain. I think a lot of Germans in Mallorca and other parts of Spain probably picked up the phone and voted for it. And so having the whole country behind you is a huge, huge deal already for Eurovision. Then, in the lyrics, we have a lot of references to different countries. We have parts of the lyrics that are in German and Italian that might incentivize some people to vote for it as well. Some of the references to food might be a bit stereotypical, but still people might like that someone is mentioning their country. And the lyrics in general are very pro-European, very we can travel freely in Europe and we should, you know, not take it for granted and enjoy it. And I think a lot of people can relate to that message. And then the lyrics also have a deeper meaning, of course, which I think does come across at the end of the performance, this very quiet part where the music dies down and it's just him talking about humanity and his father telling him that traveling through Europe without borders is something very important and that he has done it and he has been to all these countries. And it's this kind of emotional moment that the lyrics also have. So a pro-European message, but also an emotional, personal message. And I think a lot of people might be incentivized to vote for it for that reason. Then Nostalgia, the song sounds very 90s, and I've heard from a lot of Dutch people that it has references to lots of things that happened in the 90s in the Netherlands, but also in Germany and other countries in the region, I think. And that might be a pro point because the people that were teenagers or young people in the 90s might feel, you know, nostalgia and vote for it for that reason. Then fashion, he has this costume, I don't even know how to explain it, this blue and European blue costume with the huge shoulder pads. And he's wearing that. He has been wearing that for weeks now. And it is very recognizable. And people will also recognize him. And it will make the whole song and the performance more memorable as well, I do think. Then we have the dance break. And this emotional moment at the end. If we are looking for a winning moment, I think the dance break might be it, because it is just fun. It makes me smile every time it comes up in the song. Like, you thought what was happening was already crazy, and then the dance break comes and it is completely crazy. And then right after that, you have the emotional moment that a lot of people will connect to, I think. And so if we're looking for a winning moment, that might be it. The song is also a huge crowd pleaser. The whole arena will be dancing and singing along to it, and that will create an amazing atmosphere. Not like some other songs that are staged very much like a music video, where there isn't much interaction between the person on stage and the audience. I think in this case, we will really see a lot of crowd interaction, and that will, you know, elevate the whole thing and the whole experience as well. Then meets expectations. What do I mean by that? A lot of people tune into Eurovision and they expect a crazy out there performance in a national language, maybe with crazy costumes. And they will go, yeah, that is 100% Eurovision. This is what I wanted. This is why I tuned in. Let me vote for this because this completely meets my expectations. I personally think that sometimes breaking with the expectations is also a good way to go, but meeting them is also not too bad, like France does, for example, as well, with a very dramatic French ballad. A lot of people will also see their expectations and a bit their stereotypes met with that as well. Then Joost Klein is a very experienced performer. We can see that in every performance he does. Lots of energy on that stage, very professional, no stage fright, it seems. And experience also means he's quite famous already, not only in the Netherlands. He's had a #1 hit in Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and is just a known figure in the music world, which also might help a bit with some of the jury members who might know him already from some of his other songs. Then he and the Dutch team have been masters at the PR campaign. He went to Helsinki, met Kerje, lots of upheaval about that and lots of talk about that. He will probably get a few points from Finland because of meeting Kerje. And otherwise, just cool, fun videos that they posted on social media. Some of them went viral. And I think if they continue doing this throughout Eurovision week, that will help create the momentum and also make some media outlets report on it a bit more than on the other entries, maybe. And then he's quite high in the odds at the moment. He's in 5th place. That might change once we see the dress rehearsal and this augmented reality. And if you're high up in the odds as an entry that is usually not as jury friendly, that might help you a little bit, because I feel like jury members don't want to vote against the favorites in the odds too much. And then later on, they have to explain themselves if that song wins and they didn't vote for it. And then again, the staging is a bit question mark, so that's a good segue into the contra. The staging could be a pro. The way it looks at the moment, without anything augmented that we saw in the rehearsal clip, it doesn't feel like a winning staging at the moment. But as you know, there are rumors that more is Cumming. So that gets me to the why Joost Klein might not win Eurovision. And the main reason for me are the juries. Because to win, even if you have a huge margin in the televote, you need, well, if you have a really huge margin, it doesn't matter that much what the juries give you, especially if we don't have a jury favorite, as I have said. But if you win the televote by a bit, and there are lots of televote-friendly songs this year, you really need a good jury score as well, 4th, 5th in the jury vote. And I just don't really see this song, which is in a national language, which combines many different elements, all of which the juries usually don't go for, which is a bit of a novelty act if you don't understand the message of the song. A lot of jury members might just not go for this. The vocals aren't incredibly impressive, like with France, like with Switzerland, so they might go for other songs as well. And coming 9th, 10th in the juries is just not enough to win Eurovision overall. And I think that's the main challenge that Joost Klein has to overcome. And then also, we don't have a huge jury favorite at the moment, I don't think. But we have a lot of televote-friendly songs. There's Greece, there's Italy, there's Switzerland. But then in the same lane as the Netherlands, in a way, you have Baby Lasagne, which is a bit less crazy than the Netherlands. But you also have Estonia. We have to see whether Estonia manages to qualify. That might take a few votes away from Joost as well, because this also meets the Eurovision expectation of a lot of people, and they might vote for that instead of Joost Klein. Then I also think that it might be a bit too regional. If I repeat where the song is charting at the moment, the Netherlands, Belgium, Lithuania, Sweden, Estonia, Finland, and Joost Klein is known in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, that gives you a Nordic, Baltic, Western European perspective in a way. And this genre of music and this nostalgia for this genre of music, I think, is a bit regional in Europe. I don't think in the Balkans, in Southern Europe, and further east, people will really understand this genre of music, especially when they hear it for the very first time. And that might be a reason why he doesn't win in the end. Maybe too stereotypical in the lyrics. If you mentioned paella and fish and chips, I'm not sure whether Spanish people are like, oh, he said paella, let me vote for him. I'm not sure that will actually happen. The song is very repetitive, of course, which is one of the pros, which makes it so memorable and catchy, but might also be a bit of a contra, especially for the juries that like a more intricate musical composition. Then there might be some carrier comparisons. I've heard some casual fans, I would say, they know what Eurovision is. They watch it every year, but they aren't crazy like us watching this video at the moment, I'm guessing. They have said, yeah, now every year there's this crazy song that everybody thinks will win, and they are kind of tired of it. And that might happen. We also have Baby Lasagne, which gets these comparisons. No comparison at all in the music or in the performance as such, but the feel and the general direction of the song, I do see the comparison a little bit, and some people might just be turned off by it and think it's just a bit too much. Then some people in the comments said that the Netherlands just won. It's already a few years ago, but people might be going for a country like Croatia or France or Switzerland that hasn't won or hasn't won in a very long time and not go for the Netherlands for that reason. I don't think a lot of people base their vote on this, to be honest, but still. And then maybe the message is just a bit too confusing for people. Obviously, the lyrics are in Dutch, which is a minus. They have the subtitles at the end, which is a great idea, I think, to get the message across a bit better. But some people might just be, why is he singing about Europe and wearing this blue outfit, and now suddenly it's about his father? Like, if you don't really have the background information, even with the subtitles, there might be some people that are just confused. I spoke to a few casual fans that were a bit confused, honestly, seeing the rehearsal clip, like, what, why is he suddenly sad? And that might be happening as well. I do think they did a good job with the staging, though, and with the subtitles. These are all the arguments pro and contra I could find. Let me know in the comments what you think. Will Joost Klein be able to win Eurovision? And also, if you have more arguments for either of the two sides. It's a bit of a thought experiment. We don't really see this on the internet, that someone shows you both sides of an argument. And that's why I'm doing this series, and also because it's a lot of fun. Do subscribe to this channel. Lots of coverage coming up for semifinals, for the final, a grand final prediction. Yeah, so much happening this week. So excited, and see you then. Bye-bye.